Hey everybody, my name is Spencer, and in this video I'm going to be previewing the card game Turf War, designed by Dan Nichols, published by Gadabout Games, who helped sponsor this video. Before I forget about it, did you see what I did there? I want to remind you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It gives me credibility when people are scrolling through their feeds and they see my channel with thousands of subs and they say, hey, this guy's legit, he has thousands of subs. Man, now I'm just hungry for a sandwich. In Turf War, a tableau building game, two players are dueling to build their yards in order to prove to the neighbors that their yard is the best. Now I'll be honest, this is definitely one of those times when I play something that I know nothing about. Like Jamaica, for example. I know nothing about being a pirate. In this instance, I know nothing about lawn care. In fact, I don't even mow the yard. My wife Lara does that because she's the one with the green thumbs in the family. Thankfully, the doctors confirmed it does not gangrene. Nevertheless, you don't have to know anything about taking care of a yard to enjoy Turf War. If you can put cards down on the table, you can play Turf War. Seriously, this game is so simple to understand. Both players start with a 3x3 grid of dirt cards, some tools, their house, and a garage. On a turn, you'll decide whether you want to stay home and work on your yard, or go to work to earn money so that you can buy new cards to add to your yard or opponent's yard later. At the store, you might buy certain features, like a fountain or a stealth drone, as most people have. Of course, you can buy plants like a beanstalk or tomato patch, and you can buy things like pink flamingos. But if you want to be nasty to your opponent, you can also buy pests. These are cards you can play on your neighbor's yard that have negative effects. Like a mosquito causes them to immediately lose $5 when played, and then continue to lose $5 at the end of each turn. When you buy cards, they go into your garage. Now this is essentially a holding area until you return home, which is your other option on your turn. You can return or stay home if you're already there, and while at home you can play one card and or sway a neighbor. To sway a neighbor, you have to meet certain conditions or be able to pay up. Arthur here can be swayed if you have 2 features in your yard, while Maximilian wants you to pay $20. It's a race to be the first to sway these neighbors because there are only 5 available. Once they are all gone, the game's over. Keep that in mind when you are choosing which cards to play in your yard. Which is the other thing you can do while at home. Choose one card to play, whether it's something to go into your yard or a tool. Now most cards have some form of effect on them that happen when played or at the beginning or end of a turn. Some just give you points and look nice, like these stacking stones that give you 1 point per card in the column. Usually you can only play one card, but some cards, like this toolbox, let you play multiple cards. You've got to be strategic about where you play cards for a number of reasons. First, for scoring purposes like the stacking stones I mentioned. But also, you need to pay attention to how many cards you can play in each plot of land. Once you water some dirt, the card flips over and offers you 1 space to play a card as indicated by this plus symbol. Other cards like the beanstalk continue to add spaces, so you can theoretically keep stacking more and more cards on top of each other as long as you have spaces for them. But should you keep stacking or spread out over your yard? It's a decision you have to make that will be based on the neighbors you are trying to sway and some of the cards that give you points based on certain conditions. You also have the option of playing those pest cards into your opponent's yard, but only while they're away, which also goes into your decision on whether to remain home or go away. Pests don't need to have an open slot to be played, so any square is fair game. They can be removed with a trash a card effect like on the rake. Now, players will go back and forth like this, deciding whether to stay home or go to work, until, as I mentioned, all 5 neighbors have been swayed. You'll tally up the points gained from neighbors and the cards in your yard, and whoever has the most points wins. The game can last about 30 minutes for your first game or so, but once you get familiar with it, playtime comes down to about 20 to 25. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it's pretty easy to pick up, both like this and to learn. As you observed, I was able to explain the majority of the game with some flavor in just a few minutes. If you want to see exactly how the game plays out, check out the playthrough video my wife Lara and I did. We had a blast playing, and I hope you can tell from the video. Now hopefully you could glean from my explanation that there are several opportunities for some strategic decisions, but not too difficult. I think it's just right for a game of this weight and length. Now this is a great example of the right way to design dueling games. Unique theme, quick turns, not too long. And while there are opportunities for take that moments, you could theoretically avoid those. Just keep trashing the pests and don't buy them. However, do keep in mind that if you play games with someone who tends to be conflict heavy, those pest cards and even tool cards can really mess you up. The game is so small, at least in this iteration, super portable, throw it in a bag, and doesn't take up too much space on the table either. You could probably play it in a coffee shop or on the back porch. Hey, use it as an opportunity to plan some lawn renovations. Find the best place to put a catapult or Venus flytrap. The age range is for 10 and up, and I think that's just about right, though a really smart 8 or 9-year-old could probably catch on. Finally, I really appreciate the art. It's the perfect style for the type of game it is and really embodies the theme. It's cartoony, and so is the game. And speaking of cartoony, here I am asking you again to subscribe to the channel. Also, give the video a like and share it with your neighbor, so you can get into a real match trying to sway your neighbors. I would totally lose that, by the way. I don't even know my neighbors' names, and I've lived here for like 3.5 years. Please let me know if you have any questions about the game. I'll answer them to the best of my ability as soon as I can. Until next time, don't take the board game hobby too seriously. I mean, you can play a game where you put drones and catapults in your yard and flea circus and skunk in your neighbors. It's in games like these when you just need to lighten up.